let's just hop in. Let's get right into this bad boy. Game number 1, we're going to Gressvon, spawning in the lower right-hand corner. In the red, it is our Zerg player, Dongregu. And his opponent in the upper left, here in the yellow, the Terran pieces, it's Future. One of our 2 American representatives in this bracket. It's been really, really cool seeing Future and Estrella play pretty much every week. Scarlet is playing this week as well, so we really have the NA rep right now, which is so cool. And if you guys didn't see, Scarlet's actually been working with a dev studio on an RTS that they just announced today. So if you guys didn't see that, check that out. It's called Zero Space. They just like launched a Kickstarter and they have a bunch of videos. It looks really, really developed. Surprisingly developed. I thought it was really cool. It's so cool to see that like off the heels of the first Stormgate alphas and stuff. And you've got like Immortal Gates of Pyre, which has been in production for a while. I feel like the RTS scene is gonna start thriving very shortly, which is so exciting. It's been a little bit, it's kind of been chilling for a long time, but I'm really excited for that. And I hope some of these guys play as well. I know we'll see a lot of people playing other RTSs from StarCraft and from other games as well, Age of Empires and Warcraft and things like that. But yeah, I hope to see some of the StarCraft pros kind of swap over and try out the new stuff. Maybe take a few bucks off the noobs in some tournaments. I definitely want to put tournaments on for all these new games as much as I can. I'm super stoked on them. I have Future's playing for Team Matcherino, which is a friendly reminder that we have a Matcherino for this tournament that has free coupon codes that you can add 25 cents to the prize pool. I usually leave those open for like a couple of weeks after the tournaments too. So, you know, if you're watching this on YouTube later on, you can still check out that Matcherino link in the description below. That was some really YouTuber talk right there. But all right, I guess I should talk about this game a little bit. Why talking about casting other games? You're not even casting this one. Wow. But it's been pretty chill so far. We haven't even had a Reaper. This has just been straight into Marines, and it's such an interesting build from Future. It's a 3 racks. And I have a feeling there's going to be a factory. Oh my god, it's a 4 racks. Never mind. I was like, oh, I'd probably just wait for like medevacs and then just go for like a big old Marine push. It'll feel like a 2-1-1, but there'll just be extra Marines behind it. No. No. Future's building 4 axes of Marines with stim. Getting a second tech lab. This is so interesting. And no Reaper opening. No 2 racks Reaper opening. Future is switching it up here. I can safely say I've never seen this. At least not in a very long time. This is what happens when you take builds from like Platinum and use those. I feel like pro players should do that every now and then. They should like get on their Smurf account in Platinum, you know, play with their Xbox controller, and just see what the kids are doing down there. You know, Future should just hop on Zerg on his Platinum account, just see what's going on. What are they coming up with? They're smart. They're coming up with builds. Imagine that build with a good execution. I feel like that's what we're seeing right here. 5 Marines being produced at once. You could get this by going for 2 reactors and 1 tech lab, but then combat shields wouldn't be done quite as soon. Duh. This is wild. Marines are just gonna walk across the map. And so far, DRG, I think, has only seen 4 Marines. The Overlord's about to spot just how many barracks there are. But I think DRG might not even fully look at this for a second here. And then by then, hey, look at that. There's a bunch of Marines on your doorstep. 26 Zerglings on the way. No Banelings, though. It's just going to be queens and zerglings. There are a handful of transfuses on these queens. Is it going to be enough? First one goes down. The big stim here out of the Marines. There's no healing, but the queens and lings need to come protect these drones. 7, 8 drones going down already. The Marines, they're thinking about just leaving. Another stim is forced by the lings. They get the big surround. The queens here putting out damage as well. All the lings will go down. It looks like 1 or 2 queens going to die as well. Just the one as the Marines get pushed away. 9 drones, though, and a ton of lings getting killed there. So, honestly, it's a good trade for Future. Well, it looks like he might lose these last few Marines. I guess the big thing here is he just spent all that time building Marines, and now he's got, I was going to say not many, but it's 16, so I guess it's still a pretty decent amount. The 4 Marines get saved by their friends. The starport is almost done, so Future will have some medevacs out soon, and I think the follow-up here is probably going to be with medevacs, rather than just sending more Marines across the map willy-nilly. DRG in the meantime, I mean, this is very, very standard kind of defensive reactive play from DRG. Heavy Queenling, now into Banelings and a lair. Gonna get the macro hatch now that the 4th base is done. DRG did lose quite a few drones earlier, but still at a decent drone count. More lings coming out, though. I guess worried about this follow-up attack, and his 2 medevacs are almost out. Future's already moving across the map. Oh, this is actually very dangerous for DRG. Fortunately, the lings able to sneak out of there. A few banelings starting to morph. No bane speed is going to make this a little more difficult. Another big stem on these Marines, but the lings have a tough time fighting this. The queens helping out from behind for sure. That 1 Marine was definitely a traitor to Future's army. Still, though, very good trades for Future so far. But this is a very late 3rd command center. 7 minutes, and it's not even quite finished yet. The medevacs are here now. It's not just regular old medevacs. That tech lab, or the factory went onto one of the tech labs and made a couple of cheeky siege tanks to find this very annoying position with no bane speed. It's going to be very difficult to get on top of these Marines as long as Future controls this well. There is a huge ling flank getting set up, though, right now. A few Marines on the backside to help defend it. This is not a ton of Marines here from Future, though. I think if the queens hit the front with these lings and banes, and that flank hits, DRG is just being very patient, waiting for more and more lings to come out. He doesn't want to just crush this. He wants to just destroy. He wants to absolutely squanch any attempt at holding this that Future might have had. But the lings and banes on the backside are actually going to find some reinforcements. That does mean that flank is gone. But the tanks are now all alone. They're going to get cleaned up by the lings. Marines come back, but it's too late to save those siege tanks. Future's going to keep this push going, but there are banelings up here. Queen's transfusing to stay alive. Just trying to buy some time. It's just the 1 tank now, so DRG doesn't have to be quite as afraid. And he's just going to dive forward. Takes down the tank. Not a lot of banelings left, though. Future targets down those banes and picks up to get out of there. Looks like a couple SCVs went down in the meantime, but Future seems to be holding on back at home. And the problem for DRG here is he hasn't droned up at all. He's still at just 64. He's going to start pumping out some drones now. I love this move from Future. Big old drop, headed towards the main. He says, no, you need to stay home and defend. And that's going to give Future time to just build up back at home, get that 3rd base nice and secure. But as I say that, 7 more SCVs go down, it looks like, to some baneling run by. So DRG not pulling everything back. Keeping a few things on that side of the map to be annoying with. But this all kind of stopped DRG from droning for a while. He got a few more drones out now, finally going above 70. And now that Future is on 3 bases, the income for the Terran is pretty decent. But yeah, DRG still holding on to that lead by quite a bit. Future doing a very good job in the trades so far. Man, more banelings come in. 5 more SCVs go down. DRG, I think, realized, hey, I haven't been droning for a while. I think I need to do something about this Terran's economy. Oh, this 1 tank is trying desperately to get some damage done. They'll at least tank some banes before those Marines have to pick up and get on out of there. I'd love to see Future, like, put a bunker down or at least some supply depots or something. But he's more on the offensive than he is the defensive. He's going to take down this 5th base. Tries to drop into the main, although medevac didn't have anything in it. and it never will again. 5th base goes down, though, and DRG, he needs to get another base up. 4 bases is nice, but I feel like Future's going to be on 4 bases before too long. DRG does not want to be down too many bases, and that looks like another kill there. As I did not see the drone pop out. It's 2 dead hatcheries for Future, as he's able to get that one before he has to lift up and get out of there. Oh, Future accidentally running into some banelings there. A bit of a miscontrol. DRG is going to go for a counterattack. That Widow Mine doing a lot of friendly fire, and the Marines on low health get picked apart by those Zerglings before the banelings even get in. Oh no! Oh, the SCV line explodes to the banelings. Those poor SCVs. Oh, and with that, Future is going to be forced to tap out. DRG goes for the counterattack. He says, "You canceled my 5th base a couple of times. No problem. You don't have any workers anymore." Oh no, that was a massacre. That was a massacre. Very painful. Absolutely sick game, though. It's exactly what I expect between these two. One time I got some ice cream from Future Ice Cream Shop, and it was the best ice cream I've ever had. That's a true story, actually. I'm quite confident that's a true story. That happened to me, too. All right, game number 2. I feel like I was going to say something, but I can't remember what it is. You guys ever have that? Probably not. You guys are all absolute geniuses. You never forget anything. Chat, you're looking beautiful tonight. Have I told you lately? Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Babylon. His play was looking as beautiful as chat in that last game. It is our Korean Zerg, Dongregu. And his opponent in the lower right-hand corner in the blue for Macherino Esports, the American Terran, Future. A very interesting opening from Future. I don't expect we'll see that again. I did like it, and I felt like it got some okay damage done. I don't think he was expecting quite so many queens, perhaps. That many queens is kind of hard to take down, as long as the Zerg micros well, which is kind of a key point, but you just have so many transfuses across all the queens. You just kind of pull back. It was good micro from DRG, and that first Marine push ended up getting some damage done, but I don't know if it was enough to make up for the fact that, you know, Future went for a 4 racks opening with a very late 3rd command center. It definitely needs to get good damage done. Looks like so far just a normal Reaper expand from Future, unless he decides to change it up once again. It's cool to see him experimenting, though. I like that a lot, especially since now in Korea, more than anywhere, we have the Beyond build, the 2 racks Reaper opening with all its different variations, and you do still have Reaper expands. I think now's a good time to kind of bust out some less orthodox builds, some of those unorthodox openers, and Future again is going to go reactor first. So we are seeing something a little bit different out of him. With this 2nd racks, I guess it is the exact same build out of Future, at least so far. I think that's very cool. I think it's very cool because there are certain responses that work great against one build, but maybe not as good against others. And that's kind of how we see the meta evolve across the matchups over time. It's just trying to take advantage of little weaknesses in your opponent's build based on what they assume you're doing. It's part of the reason that some players do better when there's like a settled meta, and some players do better when there's not. You know, somebody like Hero, they see a meta that doesn't really, I don't know, isn't really settled, doesn't have like a strong macro build. And he's like, oh, okay, I can work with this. I can make up some stuff that just super hardcore takes advantage of whatever the other player's doing. And I think that's what Future's trying to do here. He's trying to take advantage of the Zerg openings. We'll see if it works better on this map than the other one. It can be a little bit harder to get those queens in the right position, get those link surrounds on certain maps. Just depends on the positioning of the Marines and things like that. But I think DRG has recognized that this is the same opening. Right? He came up, he saw the reactor, he saw no Reaper, was a little more bold with those lings this game because there was no Reaper. It's so cool. Like, to me, this feels like a build that if you gave somebody who is like a pro Warcraft player or something, like a pro Warcraft 3 player, and you were like, oh, let's play some StarCraft, and you gave them like 40 games to come up with a build as Terran, this would be what they came up with. They'd be like, I have this really strong, this really sick 4-Rax build, where the upgrades like time out pretty decently, and you just have like a lot of Marines. And then you'd be like, well, that doesn't really make sense in the meta, and here Future is busting it out. You just never know what to expect. 10 drones finishing up right now for DRG, but the move out is happening for Future, and I don't think DRG really has any vision of it. There's no lings on this side of the map. He's missing this completely. Okay, 16 lings on the way, 20 lings on the way. He knows the timing. Even pulls these lings back before the Marines get here. He's anticipating that there's some sort of move out coming once again. Queens are already out front. Lings are going to come up here and try to help buffer for them a little bit. Transfuse is going down, but this time 3 Queens getting targeted down. Oh, the Marines getting up to the top of the ramp. The Baneling Nest actually helping these Marines so much. The Lings come in to try to fight, but with all the Queens dead, they're not nearly as powerful. And the Lings, I think we're a little late this game. And Future's build is looking quite good this time. A little bit of a different handling there from DRG, and you see just how quickly this falls apart. 11 drones. How many Queens? 8 Queens and 35 Lings going down. A beautiful, beautiful opening from Future. And that's what last game was intended to look like. That's why Future is busting this build out. And now DRG, down so many Queens. What's the Queen count at the moment? It is 3, so at least he can keep the transfuses going. Creep spread's going to take a big hit until these follow-up Queens come out. I think this was a quicker lair and a quicker Bane Nest from DRG, though, so he is getting into Bane speed already. Kind of trying to get ready for that follow-up push. But with taking all of that big damage early on, it's going to be a lot harder for him to get there. I mean, look at the worker count still. DRG is only just now pulling ahead in workers again. And Future's got the follow-up push coming along right now. Tanks coming out, 2 medevacs on the way. And this is looking like a very strong game for Future. But let's see if DRG can hold on. He's going to have a better idea of this push out. He's got a handful of Lings on the map, more coming out. And this time they can morph into Banelings, and not only that, they'll be roly-poly Banes. They'll be able to get on top of those Marines a lot easier. Oh, this is really nice as well by DRG. Just trying to hit the back line, pick off some units, at least slow down this push. Slow down the reinforcements, make Future's life more difficult. And that all of that's just going to buy DRG so much more time. So many more Lings, so many more Banes coming out. Only 59 drones, so the worker count's not great here for DRG. But if he can hold on to this push, it'll be well worth it. The 4th base is down to the lower left. I think Future was kind of expecting the 4th base to be here. But he's going to elevate her up into the main base a little bit. Keeping some units on the low ground just in case the Lings and Banes show up. And there they go, trying to target down those Banelings. He gets most of them. Oh! One big connection on the Marines, but it's not enough. Enough of them stay alive that Future is able to push through all those attacking units. And DRG, like I said, he didn't have a huge economy behind it. So he wasn't able to just keep on going. Those tanks in too good of a position. Still Marines there. And that's how we get to see the power of that Future build. I love it. Now we're going into a game 3. We're all tied up. This is a best of 3. This is just the round of 16 right now. This is the first match of the day between these two. The winner is going to go up to face off against Beyond. I assume, unless Pineapple, who's a player I've never heard of and is not ranked on a Ligulac, takes down Beyond, that would be the upset of the century. It would actually be insane. All right, game 3. I also love both of these players. This is a really good match. I'm really stoked on this. I know that Steadfast was casting Estrella versus Scarlet, which is the other excellent match from the first round of this tournament this week. And if you guys are having fun watching the KSL, this is a crowd-funded tournament, completely funded by the community. Please check out our Patreon. Check out the Match Arena if you just want to add that extra 25 cents to the prize pool for this week. We would really appreciate it. We want to keep going as much as possible and get ready for our $5,000 tournament, the Summer Slam, that is coming up in just a couple of weeks. Now let's get into game 3. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the Red Zerg player, Dongregu. His opponent in the lower right in the yellow, it's Future. Man, and I'm already seeing a round of 8 match that nobody is casting because... Actually, you know what? The Ducklings might be casting that. I don't want to say nobody's casting it. I did see light was on, so the Ducklings are here. I didn't see them initially, but they did show up. Hopefully... Oh! Cancel on the NG Bay there. I didn't even realize it was an NG Bay block. Future getting real spicy with this TVZ strat here. I love it. You don't even often see SCV scouts. He's dropping NG Bays. What is going on? What is Future doing? But Classic versus Gumiho going on in the round of 8. It's actually a really sick match. I feel like it happens almost every week too. Either here or in like the EPT Cups. Now this time Future is going for the Reaper. A bit more of a standard opening other than the NG Bay block, which is kind of incredible. You just never see that. And look at the SCVs trying to block the drone from taking the third base, at least temporarily. Won't be able to block it for very long, but Future at least knows the third base is down. We'll see what he does with that information. Currently, things looking very normal for our Terran player. The delay on the hatch just makes things annoying for DRG, I feel like. Like your queens aren't going to be 100% synced up. Things just don't line up as well. And actually, that does delay the queen by a little bit. The Lings aren't out yet either, which means this Reaper has a little bit more free reign, but so far, great saves here from DRG. The Lings will come out, and it looks like this Reaper's going to get pushed away without getting any kills. Those drones all save themselves in their various buildings. Reaper now going for the hefty micro before that queen gets out. Still, though, doesn't get a kill, doesn't get any of those Lings, none of the drones. Gets shoved away by the queen. Oh, I don't think he can get that creep tumor. Good movement here from DRG. Keeps everything alive. That's what you get when you go up against one of the best. So what's the follow-up here for Future? There's just Marines coming out right now. Starport going down. No add-on to this factory. It is doing nothing. The factory is just there to build the starport at the moment. Reactor it is. I don't know, I'm very intrigued by Future's build. It does not feel like your normal build to me. Usually if I see a Reaper opening, I expect Hellions as the follow-up, not Marines. Oh, I didn't even see the second Rax. Oh, this is why I was so confused. Okay, never mind. I'm no longer confused. Streamer has figured out exactly what's going on. It took me a minute. I know you guys in chat are probably smarter than me, paying more attention to that production tab. It's a 2-on-1. Stim is on the way. Future's going to have 16 Marines and 2 medevacs. I'm thinking Future's doing some, like, kind of weird, out there build, and he's doing, like, the most OG of OG TVZ builds that we have in Legacy of the Void. This was, I think, like, the original Beyond build. Some 2016 Beyond action. So let's see if we can get some damage done. The Bane Nest is finishing up for DRG. That'll help immensely in dealing with this. Just a couple of Banelings makes it so much more easier to deal with this. So much more easier. And it looks like the medevacs were spotted by this Zergling. So DRG can pump out a good amount of Lings, get the Queens out front. The creep spread is looking quite nice here. Going to be able to hold the top of this ramp at least a little bit with this creep. Marines, though, stim forward. They take out that tumor. They're going to poke at these Queens. Queens poke back. I poke at you, you poke at me. And then the classic here from DRG. Lose the creep tumor. Just put down 2 more. Marines. Target down a couple of Queens, though. They do get them before getting out of there. Future behind this. No third command center. Just getting into more Marines. +1 in combat shields. Just going to keep up that Marine production, this time with siege tanks. It looks like a follow-up push is in the cards. But again, Baneling's going to help with that quite a lot here for DRG. Bane speed already on the way. I feel like DRG's getting very well set up to deal with this, but I was kind of feeling that way last game too with the Banes, with their speed. And Future was able to take that one down with some really annoying tank positioning and some great focus fire on the Banelings. I don't think I really got a chance to talk about it too much in that last game, but the focus fire on the Banelings from both the tanks and the Marines in that last game was so crucial. Oh, the tank is sieged up here. A strange place for that tank to siege. Future going to siege both of the tanks here. This feels kind of wild. This wall, though, in a little bit of trouble. So it looks like DRG wants to go on the counter-offensive while just defending back at home with the Lings and a handful of Lings and the Queens. But why is Future sitting in the middle of the map? This feels so weird to me. Oh, and he's going to pull away just at the worst time. DRG getting set up to go in. Now, this could end up being a flank from DRG. Oh, but he's pulling away. Oh, man. Like, the anticipation here is just wild. DRG is getting ready for the counterattack. Who can do more damage, I guess, is the question. Future is holding the wall with some Marines and a siege tank. He's going to close the wall up in time. The Baneling's going to smash forward and take down that wall, though. The Natural getting completely evacuated here. The Marines trying to hold the top of the ramp. Target firing the Banelings. There's a few more on the ramp. Future, in the meantime, on the other side of the map is killing a base, but 13 SCVs going down. Tanks coming out, but the Banelings smash into those Marines. The Liberator going to try to hold here. The SCVs hold positioning. They need to repair this siege tank. They will push this away, but so many SCVs going down. Future, though, his push on the other side of the map is still going. Not a lot of Lings and Banes here. DRG needs to be very careful with these engagements. His third base is under fire now. Oh, the Lings from the backside, though, getting on top of the siege tanks. But the Banelings getting target fired, and Future just has too much. And he will take that game despite losing 26 SCVs. He holds on back at home, and the push is too strong. Dongray Gu getting knocked out in that first round by the American Terran.